Hello everyone, in this video I want to make an update regarding healing my OCD journey, which has proven a very interesting journey, and to talk to you about the most important supplement you can take, which is liquid vitamin B12 in a combination of 50% methylcobalamin and 50% adenosilcobalamin. It's important to mention that this information is per medical medium. That's very important. Uh, I Let me see if I can write, because I need to write like mirror like here. Medium info. That's very important to mention. Anthony William is a medium for the spirit of compassion. Spirit of compassion is the spirit that it's above all spirits except God, which is love. Compassion is the understanding of suffering as defined by spirit of compassion. Anthony tells his story in the medical medium revised and expanded edition, published originally in 2015 and now in this revised and expanded edition. If you want to know more about Anthony and about spirit of compassion, about the kind of information that he gets, this is a pure untampered source, and that's how humanity really knows at this point in time that liquid vitamin B12 is the most important supplement. It's worth to mention that the second most important supplement is liquid sulfate, as in liquid zinc sulfate, liquid zinc sulfate. And the one that I'm showing you here is the one that I'm able to get. But first, let me mention that of vitamin B12. But let's mention first that the only company that actually I know that follows Anthony's recommendation of 50% methylcobalamin and 50% adenosilcobalamin, it's Vimergy. However, the prices in Mexico for vitamin B12 for Vimergy, particularly and in general for Vimergy products, it's way too expensive for me. So I usually get the second best option, which is a company that Anthony has recommended some of their supplements in the past, and as Vimergy has made the versions with a greater quality, he has changed. Anthony has a directory in his webpage, www.medicalmedium.com, where you can check all the supplement companies and the supplement products, and in fact other personal care products, kitchen products, food products that Anthony personally recommends. And if you follow Medical Medium Info, you will know that at the moment the company that Anthony is 100% supportive of, it's Vimergy, because of the higher quality that they have for their supplements. However, this is the second best option I know, which is vitamin B12 by Global Healing. And Global Healing is this company by Dr. Gu in Canada. Vimergy, it's a USA company. And this vitamin B12, it's 60% methylcobalamin, 20% adenosilcobalamin, and 20% hydroxycobalamin. So it's really interesting that you can get only these two companies where they have this 50%, 50%. Well, not 50% in the case of Emergy, 50%. In this case, at least 60% methylcobalamin, 20% adenosilcobalamin. It's extremely interesting and extremely relevant that we know this information. Because, for example, in my case, that I am sick with OCD caused by toxic heavy metals in my brain, vitamin B12 is one of 3 supplements that make a difference and decreases a little bit of my OCD. If you hear in the background, these are my neighbors, and they know that I have been insulting them and everyone else in the planet since the beginning of 2024, around February 2024. And they must be completely fed up of me. It's been a very interesting relationship. The thing is that when I stop taking the vitamin B12 for a few days or a couple of weeks, I go mad, I go nuts completely. So with OCD, I start have negative thoughts, insulting thoughts about everyone I see or think about, which still happens when I take the vitamin B12, regrettably, but I definitely see a decrease. In fact, in a previous video on my Instagram webpage, I have shown you something that I saw Anthony share on his Instagram, which is you can put a drop of vitamin B12 over the palm, over the back of your hand, and leave it like that a minute, and then it's going to get absorbed into your body, into your blood, through your skin, and that way you prime your body to receive more quantity of vitamin B12. So it's something really interesting tip, because the reality is that I need a lot of vitamin B12. I think that actually this doesn't make a difference for me, because I usually need to take a lot. In fact, in his Medical Medium Brain Saver Protocols, Cleanses and Recipes book, Anthony has protocols of supplements for many neurological diseases and conditions. And it's something that it's extremely useful. For example, precisely I knew about vitamin B12 because it's part of that protocol, of the OCD protocol. In fact, I think vitamin B12 is part of all protocols, but of course the dosages vary. And in that book also he has different shock therapies of supplements that you can use in case that you need them. So for example, for bouts of OCD, definitely vitamin B12, it's a must. If you suffer with OCD, or you know someone that suffers with OCD, please make sure that you share this information with them. Anthony's books are translated into many languages, including Spanish. They are available on Kindle. In fact, my copy of the Medical Medium Brain Saver Protocols, Cleanses and Recipes, I have it on Kindle. It's amazing, just one click and you get the book. So it's very practical. In fact, some of those books I have both on Kindle and physical. I'm kind of bookworm. I love books, but well, the thing is that this still has other kind, hydroxycobalamin. Anthony really doesn't say anything about it in his Medical Medium Brain Saver Protocols, Cleanses and Recipes book. He says actually that that cyanocobalamin is low quality B12. So if you are considering taking B12, try not to get cyanocobalamin, which is the most common, which of course it's like cheaper, and that's why companies use it. And of course because people really do not know about Medical Medium info and about Anthony's recommendations. So in future videos I need to find a better way to fix this. But at the moment I'm going to be spontaneous, and I'm going to let this video be as it is. After you spend 1 minute with this, you should drop of vitamin B12 liquid, ideally the 50% methylcobalamin, 50% adenosilcobalamin by Bimergy. In this case, it's the only company that I know that actually produces vitamin B12, liquid vitamin B12 with Anthony's recommendations. You should clean yourself with a piece of paper or something, and then you can put a dropper full or 2 dropperfuls or whatever amount you are needing. You can use it directly in your mouth. You can leave it a little bit beneath the tongue, because they say that you absorb it better that way. Or you can just swallow it. You can also add it to your water, to your orange juice, to your coconut water, or something. Do not use your celery juice, because that needs to be taken straight, pure, unadulterated, with anything else added first thing in the morning, or 1 hour, 30 minutes after your lemon or lime water, 32 ounces ideally. So it's something extremely interesting, extremely important to know. We all are deficient in vitamin B12. Like many people believe that if you are plant-based, you are going to be vitamin B12 deficient, and that it's super important that you get your vitamin B12. However, the reality is that Anthony says that we all are vitamin B12 deficient. It doesn't matter if we are vegetarian, vegan, plant-based, meat eaters, carnivores, omnivores, we eat fast food. We all are deficient in vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is critical for the brain, for the central nervous system, for the liver, for all these functions. And why? Why we are deficient? Because although it's true that animal meat has vitamin B12, Anthony explains in Medical Video Brain Saver Protocols, Cleanses, and Recipes that vitamin B12 in chicken, in red meat, in fish, it's vitamin B12 that's actually tailored somehow, I believe chemically, for the animal that produced it. So actually we cannot absorb it, we cannot process it. It's very interesting. Anthony even says that the properties of glucose chemically has not been properly studied. I mean, we know the chemical structure of sugar, of glucose. We know a lot of its metabolism on the body, and we believe that we know everything about it. However, Anthony says that it has not been properly studied, for example. Just saying that there's still more to learn about glucose. Anthony speaks, for example, that fruits, vegetables have different kinds of water inside of them, that have different effects in the body, that it is living water, and that the body is able to get more hydrated by it. There are many interesting things. After all, this is kind of a higher source that it's giving humanity information, not only because it's interesting. In fact, it's not because it's interesting, but because it's healing needed information in the current times that we all are living. So just as a quickly update, I thought for a moment that they were going to refund me the full box of guava juices that were in bad state, that I ordered through Amazon Mexico, through a seller, through Granville. Wellman's guava juices. However, just an hour ago or something, I saw a notification from my bank that said that I had insufficient funds for the amount of the buying of those water reduces, which is super weird because actually I received that box last week, and so Amazon doesn't send you something if you haven't paid for it. Yet it seems that the charge was not made in my account, and now they are trying to make it, and now I don't have the money to make it. So I guess that what's going to happen is that the day I have the money, they are going to charge for it, which is a lot of money. It's like around 300% what it costs in the USA, which is $150, $149.99. At least it used to be a few months ago for the 12, 16 ounces bottles of wild blueberry juice, pure for Wyman's. I in the past had gotten 2 boxes happily. However, this time around they were in a bad state. I give them a try again, but they still produce me having a stomach ache. I just felt bad. So they were not in the terrible state because I took 1 bottle and a half and I didn't go to the hospital, right? But they were not in good state. So it's also a reminder for me and something that I want to share with you, especially in these times of ascension, and especially now that the sun has been conjunct with Aries, the sister of Mars that was the one that was not invited to a wedding, and she put the apple of discord. And Pam Gregory used to say it's about fighting for the underdog. It's like, do not keep silent. You need to make a stand for yourself. And Chiron, of course, is the wounded healer, right? Like it's currently transiting the last degrees of Aries. So there's a wounding in all of us. We have given our power, our seniority, our sovereignty away for way too long to authorities outside of ourselves. Pastor Alan D. Wright shares in his Free Yourself, Be Yourself book that an idol is anything that we put in a pedestal and we say, you are going to be my source of self-esteem, of worth, of self-love, and I'm going to give you all my affection, my attention, and my love on my part. And we make idols of everything, of people, of religions, of books, of the Bible. People can become easily fanatic, scientificism, whatever ism whatever ism. Either it can be religious wise, it could be atheism, it could be, as I said, scientificism, etc., 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 etc. And it's important that we don't do that. I personally do believe in God. I think it's an interesting topic, not for this video, but ultimately what I follow is my personal connection with that source of the all that is, that original source of the all that is. It's what I call God. um, and I believe that we all have a part of that source inside of us, that we in some way are it, that we all are one. That's what resonates with me. That's what I believe in this moment. And so I believe that we all have a direct connection with what is called in Mastering Alchemy our internal guidance system, that many people call the higher self. Probably the first person that I know that spoke of higher self, that I am aware at in this exact moment, or maybe not the first person, but Eva Pierracos channel the pathwork, which is a spiritual path that works a lot with what Carl Gustav Jung called the shadow. And you can go to groups where they discuss the lectures that she channeled from a spiritual guide, very interesting, on self-development, on psychology, on spirituality. Very, very interesting. And so the higher self is that aspect that is most connected to God, to our soul, to source. Like, it's really evolved. It doesn't have all the issues that we do have, like the 9 passions of the Enneagram, for example. So ultimately, that's our best guide, and it's all about connecting with our internal guidance system. In my case, I connected with my internal guidance system through taking the Mastering Alchemy online course, which is now organized in 5 levels. There's a book by Jim Saff and Roxanne Burnett that I really recommend, called A Course in Mastering Alchemy by Watkins Publishing. Get the book. However, the book is really only kind of like the cliff notes, and the full course, it's only the online course that culminates in activating the 7 layers of the living light body. Something extremely powerful that anchors you in unity consciousness. That doesn't mean that you are perfect or that you are all enlightened, and that there's no more passions, meaning Enneagram passion, scenes, whatever in your life, right? No, not at all. But it really, 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 it's the most powerful thing that I've personally experienced and know of, that can make something critical to move you from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. That doesn't mean that you don't fall back sometimes into 3D, or many times, or into lower 4D, but it's something that really, really, really changes your energetic makeup. So I really, really recommend that you take that online course. It's a treasure, created by the Teachers of Light, a group of archangels, ascended masters, and lords of light that wanted to help humanity in our personal ascension, in our collective ascension, and with the planet ascension, so that this planet can become again a full 100% fully Christed 12-dimensional planet that it was one of 12 originally meant to be. But we lost that state, we fall from grace, and now we are in this kind of adventure. I've compared it sometimes because I reminded of the Toy Story movie, when some of the toys fall and they end up in Sid's playground, and the other toys are up there. We are the ones that fall. So it's an adventure. It's a very, 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 very long adventure. It's been eons of time that humanity and planet Earth has been in a fallen state, that the fall of consciousness has happened in general in the multiverse. But now it's an adventure of going back home, and it's painful and it's not necessarily easy. However, it's simple. It's really simple. You only need to change your thoughts, basically. Now, of course, at the same time, it's very complex, right? It's paradoxical. Like there's a lot of changes that need to happen, like the activation of the living light body, the activation of the Merkaba, of the psychogeometry around our auric fields, around our bodies. All those things need to happen. We need to reconfigure the chakras. We need to balance the masculine and feminine energies within us. We need to let go and clear the blockages that we have in our energetic systems. There are many, many things that need to happen for us to ascend, and we don't need to do it everything at once. However, the cosmic rays that are getting to the planet are producing everything to vibrate faster. Besides, it's kind of a clockwork. So now it's the time of the clock that it's saying it's time to ascend. So it's almost as if something inside of us, even biologically, it's activating. Even there are aspects of our biology that are changing, our chemistry. There are many things that are in a process of changing a lot. But well, this is, I think, all for now. Um, if you want to support me, I do astrology readings, natal chart readings, composite chart readings for relationships, partnerships, romantic interests, relationships. I do solar return charts for when's your birthday. You can play with it to know what you want to manifest for that year in your life. Depending on where you spend the day of your birthday that year. I also offer transits and progressions for the next 6 months, and I can do, of course, tailored sessions to answer your questions. My sessions are pre-recorded through Zoom usually, although if you really want me to, I can do it live with you by Zoom, so that we can make live question and answer session during the reading. And I also offer Akashic Records readings, 50 minutes Akashic Records readings. The Akashic Records, it's a kind of energetic library that includes all the information that has been, is, and everything that can be. And it's very interesting, and you can get a lot of information. It can be really, really useful to get a reading for someone that has been doing it for some time, that has certain experience. It's very exciting times now that really everyone can open the Akashic Records, rather than different than in the past, that only some priests and shamans could do it. Now everyone can do it. There's also my remote energy healing sessions. I work with a system that was channeled by Roxana de la Vega Navar, which is a spiritual Mexican teacher that received directly from Archangel Michael this system in 2011 to help humanity ascend. It works mostly on the fourth dimension, clearing our path into the fifth dimension. It's a system that works with the seven seals of the archangels and the rays of light. She has also received another system from the archangels that work with cosmic seals that are connected with the Kabbalah, among many other systems that she has received, and a lot of information. She's also an Akashic Records reader. I hope that she is going to have a web page soon, so that I can recommend everyone, so that you can get an initiation in this system through her. At the moment, she's the only one doing these initiations in this system. She has initiated a lot of people in Mexico, and I offer sessions remotely of energy healing with this system that works with the archangels, as well as I work with another system called EDINA for energy dynamics integration of natural attributes that Lois J. Wetzel received from the Ankenash ascended 12-dimensional beings from the Sirius B star system. Very interesting. She published 2 books on Edina, besides another couple of books on the Akashic Records. This is a powerful system that also helps us in the ascension process. I open the portal. The Ankenash work in your auric fields and subtle bodies from the 4th to the 12th dimensions, and I send light to specific body parts that first enter into your light body, and then they go into your physical body using colors that are connected with Chinese medicine, as the Ankenash are coalescing a lot of the knowledge that got dispersed and fractured after the fall of Atlantis all throughout the world. The Ankenash have been coalescing that on Edina. I do basic Edina. I hope that in the future, if I have the resources to do it, I'm going to get the training for the advanced modules on Edina. This is a very powerful system, and I trust that it's going to keep healthy and alive for a long, long time, 1,000 of years of healing. The Ankenash told Lois that were coming in the future. So I offer that. I also use some basic star magic techniques from Jerry Sargent books, very powerful. I also use some tools that I learned from Mastering Alchemy, again, very powerful. Doing Mastering Alchemy upgraded fully the energy healing that I'm able to do for another person. And well, I will keep you posted with more information about the sessions that I do, but please get your liquid vitamin B12 from Vimergy if you can, and if not, from Global Healing, and get your liquid zinc sulfate. I might probably talk about it in another video. Another third very important supplement is vitamin C, buffered vitamin C. Anthony recommends Micro C by Vimergy, and one of the previous versions that he used to recommend it before was Ester C, that you can get for different companies. The important thing is that it's a buffered vitamin C so that it doesn't burn your stomach glands. So it's all for now. Many blessings. I will let you know once I heal my OCD, and thanks for all your support.